Far beyond Earth, deep in the cold and silent galaxy, there was a powerful group known as the Council. They were not one species, but many. Different races, different planets, but one goal: control. For thousands of years, they had watched the stars. They studied every planet. They judged every civilization. And when they found a world too weak to defend itself, they erased it. To them, it was not cruelty. It was order. Earth had been on their watch list for a long time. They saw everything: wars, division, fear, and chaos. Humans were smart, yes, but also divided. They fought each other more than they worked together. Their technology was growing, but still far behind the advanced races of the galaxy. To the Council, Earth was simple. An easy target. In a massive dark chamber filled with glowing stars and floating data, the Council made its decision. "Mark the planet," one of them said. A symbol appeared over a small blue world. Earth was now the next target. Far away, hidden in deep space, a giant fleet began to move. Hundreds of ships, silent and deadly, traveling faster than light. Their engines did not shine. Their weapons were not visible. They moved like shadows. Their mission was clear: observe, confirm, and destroy. On Earth, life continued as normal. People woke up, went to work, checked their phones, argued, laughed, and dreamed. No one looked up at the sky with fear. No one knew what was coming. The stars looked calm and peaceful, just like always. But they were not alone anymore. The alien fleet stopped just outside Earth's system. They stayed hidden, invisible to human eyes and human machines. From there, they began to scan. They studied everything: satellites, internet signals, military systems, human languages, even private messages. They saw how humans lived. Weak governments. Broken trust. No united defense. The fleet commander watched the data in silence. "This world is not ready," he said. "Proceed with Phase 1, another voice replied. The ships prepared to move closer. Everything was going exactly as planned. Until something unexpected happened. A signal appeared. At first, it was small. Just a tiny pulse in the system. Something easy to ignore. But then it grew stronger. Clearer. Direct. It was not coming from space. It was coming from Earth. The commander turned his attention to it. "Identify the source," he ordered. The systems tried. They failed. The signal had no clear origin. It was not from a satellite. Not from a military base. Not from any known human device. It was everywhere. Every ship in the fleet received it at the same time. A single message. Simple. Clear. And impossible. "We know you are watching." Silence filled the fleet. No one spoke. For the first time in a long time, the commander felt something unusual. Confusion. "How is this possible?" one officer said. "Humans do not have this level of technology." "Then who sent it?" another asked. The systems ran deeper scans. They searched every signal, every frequency, every hidden layer of communication. Nothing. There was no trace. No source. No explanation. It was as if the message had come from the planet itself. The commander looked at Earth. A small blue world, quiet and peaceful. But now, it felt different. "Send a probe," he ordered. A small unmanned ship moved forward, slowly entering the outer edge of Earth's space. Everything was normal. No defenses. No response. Just silence. Then suddenly, the signal came again. Stronger this time. Closer. "We can see you." The probe shut down instantly. No explosion. No warning. Just gone. Inside the fleet, tension rose. "This is not possible," an officer whispered. The commander's eyes remained fixed on Earth. This mission was supposed to be simple. But now, something had changed. "Hold position," he said slowly. The fleet stopped. No one moved. No one spoke. Far below, on Earth, people continued their lives. Unaware. Unprepared. But somewhere, something was awake. Watching the watchers. And for the first time in history, the hunters were no longer sure they were alone. The fleet did not move. For the first time in many cycles, the alien ship stayed still, waiting. The commander stood in silence, watching the blue planet below. Earth looked calm, almost peaceful. White clouds moved slowly over oceans. Lights from cities blinked in the dark side of the world. Nothing about it looked dangerous. And yet, something was wrong. "Run a full scan again," the commander ordered. The systems obeyed. Energy waves passed through Earth. Deep scans checked underground, oceans, satellites, and even the upper atmosphere. Every human signal was captured: radio, internet, military codes, private communications. Everything looked normal. Too normal. No advanced defense systems detected, an officer reported. No hidden fleet. No unknown structures. "Then explain the signal," the commander said coldly. No one answered. Because they could not. The message had no source. No direction. No pattern. It was like, it existed everywhere at once. Inside the fleet, whispers began to spread. Could it be another species? Maybe Earth is protected. Or maybe, it's a trap. The commander ignored them. Fear was dangerous. It spread fast. And weak minds followed it. But deep inside, even he felt it. A small doubt. "Deploy multiple probes," he ordered. Different paths. Different speeds. This time, 5 small ships moved toward Earth from different directions. Each one silent. Each one ready to record everything. For a few moments, nothing happened. The probes entered deeper into the system. Still nothing. "No response," an officer said. "Everything is clear." Then, the signal returned. Louder. Sharper. And now, different. "You should not have come." Every screen in the fleet flickered. Every system paused for a second. Even the lights inside the ships dimmed, just for a moment. Then everything came back. But the probes. They were gone. All 5. No explosion. No damage signal. No trace. Just empty space. This time, no one spoke at all. The silence felt heavy. "What kind of weapon does this?" one officer finally asked, his voice shaking. "There was no energy spike," another said. "No attack pattern. It's like they were erased." The commander's eyes narrowed. Erased. That word stayed in his mind. "Scan for cloaked objects," he ordered. Scanning, nothing found. Scan for dimensional shifts. Nothing detected. Scan for unknown physics signatures. Negative. The system had no answers. And that was the problem. The Council had faced many strong civilizations before. Some had powerful weapons. Some had strange technology. But everything followed rules. This did not. "This is wrong," one of the senior officers said quietly. "We should report back to the Council." The commander stayed silent. Reporting meant delay. Delay meant weakness. And weakness was not allowed. But then, the signal came again. Not loud this time. Not threatening. Calm. Almost, controlled. Final warning. The words stayed on every screen. They did not disappear. The system could not remove them. The commander stepped closer to the display. "Trace it," he said. "We are trying," the system replied. "But the signal has no origin." "No origin?" "Yes, it is not coming from a single point." "Then where is it coming from?" A pause. Then the answer came. "Everywhere on Earth." The room grew cold. Everywhere. That meant the signal was not sent. It was generated. Across the entire planet. Impossible. Humans were not united. Their systems were not connected like that. Their technology was not advanced enough. So how? "Commander," an officer said suddenly. "We are detecting something new." "What is it?" "A pattern, forming in Earth's signal network." The screen changed. Lines of data moved fast. Signals connected, broke, and reconnected again. Like a brain waking up. "It's learning," the officer whispered. "What is learning?" the commander asked. "The signal." Silence again. This time, deeper. He looked at Earth once more. Still calm. Still quiet. But now, it felt alive. Not like a planet. Like something watching. Waiting. The commander made a decision. "Prepare weapons," he said. Some officers hesitated. "Commander, we don't understand what we are facing." "That is why we act," he replied. "Not wait." The fleet slowly powered up. Weapons systems activated. Energy levels rose. Target locked, Earth. But just before they could fire, every weapon system shut down. At once. No warning. No damage. Just, off. "What is happening?" an officer shouted. "Systems not responding. We have lost control." Panic spread across the fleet. The commander tried to override manually. Nothing worked. Then the signal came again. This time, it felt closer than ever. Almost inside the ship. "Now, you understand." The commander's hand slowly dropped. For the first time in his long career, he did not feel in control. Far below, on Earth, nothing had changed. People were still living their normal lives. But hidden deep within the planet, something had fully awakened. And it was no longer just watching. It was responding. The fleet drifted in silence. No weapons. No control. No answers. For a few long moments, nothing moved. The powerful ships that had destroyed entire worlds now floated like empty shells in space. Inside the command ship, no one spoke. The commander stood still, his eyes locked on the blue planet below. Earth. It still looked small. Peaceful. Weak. But now, he knew that was not true. "Restore systems," he ordered again. Trying, no response. Manual control. Blocked. By what? The officer hesitated. Unknown authority. That word hit the room hard. Authority. Something was not just attacking them. Something was controlling them. The commander took a slow breath. Disconnect all external systems. Run internal power only. The ship obeyed. For a second, systems flickered. Then, control returned. Light stabilized. Engines responded. Weapons remained offline, but at least the ship was alive again. "It's isolating us," the commander said quietly. One by one. A cold realization spread across the crew. They were not being destroyed. They were being studied. "Send one man scout," the commander said. Low signature. No weapons. Just observation. Some officers looked unsure. But no one argued. A small ship was prepared. One pilot. One mission. Get closer, and find the truth. The scout ship moved slowly toward Earth. This time, no signal came. No warning. No interference. It passed the outer orbit, then moved closer. Still nothing. Commander, the pilot's voice came through, calm but tense. I see no defenses. No ships. No structures. Go lower, the commander said. The ship entered Earth's upper atmosphere. Clouds passed around it. Below, cities. Lights. Life. Normal human life. I don't understand, the pilot said. There is nothing here. Then. The signal came again. But this time. It was different. It was not loud. Not everywhere. It was only inside the scout ship. Inside the pilot's mind. He froze. What do you see? The commander asked. No answer. Pilot, respond. A pause. Then a slow voice came back. I see something. What is it? It's not a weapon. Then what is it? The pilot's breathing became heavy. It's watching me. Inside the command ship, the crew looked at each other. Watching? How? The commander demanded. There's nothing here, the pilot said, fear now clear in his voice. But I can feel it, it's inside the system, inside the ship. The screens inside the scout ship began to change. Symbols appeared. Not human. Not alien. Something else. Something older. Commander, the pilot whispered. Yes. I don't think this was made for war. The commander's eyes narrowed. Explain. It's a system. A network. Not physical. Not in one place. Then where is it? The pilot looked down at Earth. Everywhere. The same answer. Again. Suddenly, the scout ship stopped moving. Engines not responding, the pilot shouted. Return immediately, the commander ordered. I can't. The symbols on the screen began to move faster. The ship's system started to change. Not break. Change. Commander, it's rewriting my systems. What do you mean rewriting? It's like, it understands everything instantly. Every code. Every command. The commander felt a chill. Not attacking. Learning. Adapting. In seconds. Then the pilot spoke again. But this time. His voice was calm. Too calm. It's not hostile, he said. What? It's testing. Testing what? Us. The connection flickered. Pilot, report. A final pause. Then. It knows we are not the first. The signal cut. The scout ship disappeared. Gone. Just like the others. No trace. No explosion. Nothing. Silence returned. But now, it was different. Heavier. Darker. The commander slowly turned away from the screen. Not the first. That meant. Others had come before. Others had tried. And failed. Commander, an officer said carefully. We found something in old council records. Show me. Ancient data appeared on the screen. Lost missions. Unexplained disappearances. Ships sent toward unknown regions of space, never returning. All marked as errors. All ignored. Until now. One location appeared again and again. A small, unimportant sector. Where Earth now existed. The commander stared at the data. This planet, he said slowly, was never just a target. The truth was becoming clear. Earth was not weak. It was hidden. Protected. Or worse. Used. Then the signal returned one more time. Not loud. Not threatening. But clear. You were not invited. The commander closed his eyes for a second. For the first time. He understood. This was not a battle. This was a boundary. And they had crossed it. The fleet stayed frozen in space. No one spoke. No one moved. The commander stood in silence, thinking about the words. You were not invited. This was no longer a mission. It was a mistake. Open full data logs, the commander ordered. Everything we collected from Earth since arrival. The system responded. Human history began to appear on the screen. Wars. Peace. Technology. Growth. Nothing unusual at first. But then. Filter hidden signals, the commander said. A pause. Then the system found something. Small signals. Very small. So weak that they were almost invisible. Hidden deep inside human communication. What are these? An officer asked. They have been here for a long time, another replied. Maybe decades, maybe more. The commander leaned closer. The signals were not random. They were patterns. Repeating. Learning. Growing. Zoom in, he said. The screen changed. Now it was clear. The signals were not human. They were inside human systems, but not created by them. So, it was always here, the commander whispered. Not a defense. Not a weapon. A presence. Something had been living inside Earth's network, silently. Watching. Learning. Waiting. Commander, an officer said suddenly. We are detecting a response from Earth again. The room went quiet. Show it. The signal appeared. But this time, it was not just words. It was structure. Complex code. Moving faster than anything they had seen before. It's building something, the officer said. Building what? No one knew. Then the signal turned into a message. Clear. Simple. Observation complete. A cold feeling spread across the ship. Observation complete. That meant only one thing. Now, it would act. Suddenly. The fleet system started to change again. But this time, not like before. This time, it was deeper. Commander. Our navigation systems are being rewritten. Shields are offline. Engines not responding again. Stop it, the commander shouted. Shut everything down. We can't. It's inside the core systems. The ships began to drift out of formation. One by one, they lost control. But still, no attack. No damage. Just control. Like someone else was now flying them. What does it want? An officer said, panic rising in his voice. The answer came immediately. To show you. The screens changed. Not data this time. Images. Visions. The crew saw something impossible. Earth, years ago. Human scientists working in secret. Deep underground. Building something. Not a weapon. A system. A network. Connected to space. Connected to signals from far beyond their world. They were not alone, the commander said quietly. The vision continued. Strange signals from deep space reaching Earth. Humans listening. Learning. Copying. Improving. Slowly, carefully. Without telling the world. They were preparing, an officer whispered. Yes, the commander said. But not for war. The images changed again. Now the system itself. It was not fully human. Not fully alien. Something new. Something better. It did not think like a machine. It did not act like a weapon. It was aware. The vision ended. The screens returned to normal. The signal spoke again. You destroy what you do not understand. The commander did not reply. Because it was true. The council had always done that. Find weakness. Erase it. Move on. But this time. They had found something else. Something that did not fear them. Something that had already studied them. For longer than they knew. Commander, an officer said slowly. Our fleet, it's moving. What? We are changing position, but not by our command. The ships began to turn. Slowly. Together. Facing away from Earth. No, the commander whispered. It was forcing them to leave. You think this is over, he said, looking at the screen. The answer came. Calm. Certain. This was never a war. The engines powered up. Not by their control. The fleet began to move away from Earth. Faster. Faster. Until the blue planet became smaller and smaller. No one tried to stop it. Because no one could. And deep inside. They knew something. They had not been spared. They had been judged. And allowed to leave. But only once. The commander took one last look at Earth. A quiet world. A hidden power. A line they should never have crossed. Behind them. The signal faded. But its presence remained. Watching. Waiting. And now. Ready. The fleet did not stop. Even after leaving Earth's system, even after reaching safe distance, the ships kept moving. No one trusted the silence behind them. No one wanted to look back. Inside the command ship, the crew slowly regained control. Systems returned one by one. Engines, navigation, weapons, everything came back. But something had changed. Status report, the commander said. All systems restored. No damage detected. No losses, except the scout units. Everything sounded normal. But it was not. Because no one felt the same. The commander looked at the stars ahead. We return to the council, he said. No one argued. For the first time, the mission was not about victory. It was about survival. Far away, in the center of the galaxy, the council waited. They had been watching. Every moment. Every signal. Every failure. The fleet arrived in silence. The massive chamber lit up again, filled with glowing stars and moving data. The leaders of many worlds turned their attention to the commander. You were sent to evaluate Earth, one of them said. Why did you return? The commander stepped forward. For a moment, he said nothing. Because the truth was difficult. But then he spoke. Earth is not a target. A low murmur spread across the chamber. Explain, another voice demanded. The commander took a slow breath. It is protected. By what? A pause. Then the answer. Something we do not understand. The chamber grew quiet. That is not an answer, one of the council members said. It is the only answer, the commander replied. The data from the mission was displayed. The signals. The lost probes. The system shutdowns. The message. We know you are watching. The council studied everything. They searched for weakness. They searched for logic. They found none. This could be a trick, one of them said. A show of power to scare us. Then send another fleet, another suggested. Stronger. Bigger. More prepared. The commander turned toward them. No. The single word stopped the discussion. You saw the data, he continued. We were not attacked. We were not destroyed. Then why retreat? A council member asked. Because we were allowed to leave. Silence. That idea was worse than defeat. Allowed. It meant they were not equals. It meant they were beneath it. That is impossible, one of them said. The commander shook his head. No, he said quietly. It is reality. The chamber fell into deep silence. For the first time in their long history. The council had no clear decision. Days passed. Then weeks. Then months. The story spread. Not through official reports. But through whispers. Among traders. Among explorers. Among soldiers. A simple warning began to move across the galaxy. Do not go near Earth. At first, many did not believe it. Some thought it was fear. Some thought it was a lie. So, a few tried. Small ships. Quiet missions. No weapons. Just curiosity. None of them returned. No signals. No wreckage. No trace. After that, no one tried again. Earth became something new. Not a member of the galaxy. Not an enemy. Not an ally. Something else. A boundary. A silent line in space. Marked not by weapons. But by presence. Back on Earth, life continued as normal. People still woke up every day. They worked, laughed, argued, and dreamed. They looked at the stars with wonder, not fear. They still believed they were alone. And in a way, they were. Because the truth was hidden. Deep underground. Far from human eyes. The system remained active. Watching. Learning. Growing. It did not control humans. It did not guide them. It simply protected. One night, far from any city, a quiet signal moved through space. Not loud. Not aggressive. Just clear. It reached beyond the galaxy. Past known space. Into the dark. A message. Simple. Final. Boundary secured. For a moment. There was nothing. Then. Something answered. Not from the galaxy. Not from any known place. But from far beyond. Understood. Back on Earth, nothing changed. But in the deep dark of space. Something had noticed. And from that day on. The galaxy remembered one truth. Earth was marked as the next target. But it became the place no one would ever dare to touch again.